Sometimes Allah doesn't shout. He doesn't send thunder to your doorstep. Sometimes He whispers, through your soul, through a verse, through your unease. Real story, Gaza, 2024. Her name is Layla. The night before her neighborhood was bombed in Gaza, she ended a relationship she knew was wrong, controlling, spiritually draining, and yet familiar. That same night, she had a dream. In it, she was reciting a verse over and over, and perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you. Quran 2:16. She said she woke up with a certainty she had never felt before. She messaged him, "I need to choose Allah now." He didn't reply. 2 days later, his house, less than 500 meters from hers, was turned to dust. She said, "I didn't survive by chance. I walked away because Allah pulled me out. And now, I don't question His signs." You may be ignoring signs that are meant to save your soul. Not every attachment is a blessing. Some are tests, some are traps, and some are silent mercy in disguise, begging you to walk away. Don't ignore the signs. This might be the answer to what's weighing on your heart. Have you ever felt a moment where Allah was pulling you away from something? Share your story below. It may save someone else. 5 signs. Allah is telling you to walk away immediately. Sign number 1. When peace leaves the room. There's a kind of tired that doesn't come from your body. It comes from your soul. It's when you start praying for peace, but the very person next to you is the reason you lost it. Real story, Sudan, 2023. Her name is Salma. In the middle of Sudan's rising conflict, while her city faced blackouts, gunfire, and uncertainty, she was living another kind of war inside herself. Not from bombs, but from the relationship she was in. He wasn't cruel. He wasn't kind. He was draining. Every message felt heavy. Every call made her feel smaller. She began missing prayers. She stopped journaling. Her Qur'an gathered dust. Her friends noticed the change. She said, "I couldn't hear myself anymore. I was surviving, but not in the way people think." One night, the power went out. She sat in the dark and opened her phone's Qur'an app. Randomly, she landed on, "Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." Quran 13:28. She stared at it, then cried. For an hour, the next morning, she walked away. No dramatic goodbye, no fighting, just silence and peace. 2 days later, she performed Fajr for the first time in months. She told a friend, "I think Allah gave me my soul back." Sometimes peace doesn't leave you. It gets taken by the people, environments, or habits you cling to out of fear, nostalgia, or false love. But peace is sacred in Islam. It's not a bonus, it's a proof of guidance. Quranic reflection. And Allah guides whom He wills to a straight path. Quran 2:13. Indeed, the remembrance of Allah brings peace to hearts. Quran 13:28. If something consistently strips your peace, it's not from Allah. It may be a sign that your fitrah, your original God-given nature, is resisting what your mind is trying to justify. You weren't created to tolerate chaos. You were created to return to your Lord in a state of serenity. Stop normalizing emotional chaos. If Allah removes your peace, it might be Him saving your soul. Type peace is a sign if you've ever felt this shift in your life. Sign number 2. When doors start slamming, not every no is rejection. Sometimes it's redirection, and sometimes it's protection, so deep you won't see it until the storm passes. Real story, Nigeria, 2022. Meet Idris, a young Muslim entrepreneur in Lagos, ambitious, visionary. He had built a halal tech startup that promised to revolutionize Islamic education in West Africa. The pitch was perfect. The launch was clean, and 3 big investors were ready to sign. Then suddenly, one ghosted, another pulled out with no explanation. The third demanded an equity shift that would put interest-based clauses into the funding. Idris was devastated. He questioned everything. Ya Allah, why would you let me come this far just to watch it fall apart? He started doing Istikhara every night, still confused, still hurt. But something told him, let go. 6 months later, a whistleblower exposed 2 of the investors. One was tied to a crypto Ponzi scheme. The other had laundered money through fake Islamic NGOs. And the interest clause? It would have made the whole startup haram at its foundation. Idris said later, I thought I lost investors. But Allah was saving my afterlife. We cry over closed doors because we confuse comfort with confirmation. But just because something was easy or looked perfect on paper doesn't mean it was pure. Quranic reflection, but they plan, and Allah plans. And Allah is the best of planners. Quran 8:30. Allah doesn't just protect you from danger. He protects your intentions, your rizq, your akhirah, and He doesn't always explain. Sometimes He just removes, quietly, firmly, mercifully. If a door slams, it's not always the devil. Sometimes it's the Lord of mercy, locking what would have corrupted your soul. Don't force open doors Allah has slammed shut. Comment, trust the block, if you've ever thanked Allah for a closed door in hindsight. Sign number 3. The same sin keeps hurting you. They linger. They dress up as love, as comfort, as escape. But the more you let them in, the more they take. True story, London, 2023. His name is Kareem, bright, charismatic, raised with Qur'an in his ears and football in his feet. But somewhere between heartbreaks and healing apps, he lost the plot. One relationship led to another. It always started with, she's Muslim, she understands, and ended with panic attacks, broken salah, and spiritual silence. After his 3rd heartbreak in 2 years, he told a friend, I feel like I'm dying slowly, but no one can see it. That friend didn't send a playlist. He sent a link to Surah Nur. Kareem opened it without expecting much, but verse after verse hit like lightning. And do not approach zina. Indeed, it is ever an immorality and is evil as a way. 1732. He said later, it felt like Allah was finally telling me, that's enough. Not shouting, just firm, like a parent who's let you fall too many times. And something broke open in him. He deleted the numbers, unfollowed the temptations, started praying with his heart again, not just his limbs. When a sin keeps showing up and it keeps hurting, that's not a coincidence. It's not a sign to try harder or give it one more chance. It's a divine alarm. And every time you hit snooze, it rings louder. Quranic reflection. Shaitan promises you poverty and orders you to immorality. 2268. The devil never walks in with horns. He walks in as comfort, desire, validation, then leaves you emptier than before. And Allah, He keeps sending signs, not out of wrath, but out of mercy. Recurring pain isn't punishment. It's your Lord's gentle way of saying, my servant, this isn't who you are. Come back to me. Recurring pain isn't punishment. It's Allah's mercy in disguise. Type. Enough is enough if you know you need to walk away from a sin before it destroys you. Sign number 4. When you keep asking, and the answer is silence. You made dua. You waited. You cried in sajda. You whispered His name under your breath in tahajjud, but heaven stayed silent. True story. Turkey, 2022. Her name is Zainab. She saw him once at an Islamic lecture. Their eyes never met, but her heart, it filled with hope. Every sign felt like a yes. His kindness, his posts, his mother's warmth. For 2 years she made dua after every salah, that Allah would unite them, that he would see her in the same light. And then, out of nowhere, he posted an engagement photo, not with her. She said, "I stared at the screen for 20 minutes. My hands were shaking. I didn't cry. I just felt forgotten." But weeks later, something shifted. She found out through a mutual friend that he had been speaking to multiple women while in communication with her. The engagement? Rushed. The family? Complicated. The values? Unaligned. Zainab told her friend, "It took 2 years of silence for Allah to save me from 2 decades of regret." Not every delay is denial, and not every silence is punishment. Sometimes the silence is the mercy. Quranic reflection, they call upon him, but their call is only an error. Quran 35:13. There is a veil between them and what they desire. 83:15. That veil isn't always a punishment. Sometimes it's a shield, woven by the most merciful to guard you from what looks sweet but would destroy your spirit. When Allah is silent, listen to the quiet. He might be saying, "What you want is good, but what I have for you is better." No reply is sometimes divine redirection. Have you ever been ghosted by a dream, but later thanked Allah for it? Type silent protection below. Sign number 5. When you're losing yourself trying to hold on. Sometimes it's not the pain that breaks you. It's who you become while trying to numb it. True story, Gaza, 2021. His name is Musa, a Palestinian artist known for his breathtaking Quranic calligraphy. His pieces once echoed from refugee camps to international exhibitions. Each ayah was written with a trembling soul. He said it felt like dhikr with a brush. Then came a contract from a Western gallery, well-paying, prestigious. But the request? Drop the Arabic, lose the verses. Make it more neutral, more marketable. Musa was hesitant, but war had shaken everything. He needed the income. He agreed. No calligraphy, no Qur'an, just abstract strokes on soulless canvases. Months passed. His bank account rose, but his spirit shrank. I'd walk into my studio and feel nothing. No barakah, no light, just gray. His salah weakened, his smile faded. Until one night, a bombing shook his neighborhood, and a single verse echoed in his heart. You are the best nation produced as an example for mankind. Quran 3:110. Musa quit the contract the next day. He pulled out his calligraphy set, and for the first time in a year, he wrote, وَرَبُّكَ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيَخْتَارُ. Your Lord creates what he wills and chooses. Quran 28:68. Some things aren't toxic because they hurt. They're toxic because they pull you away from who Allah created you to be. If you're bending your deen to fit into something, if you're losing your voice, your worship, your identity just to stay, then it's not from Allah. Quranic reminder, do not lose yourself for a people who do not believe. Quran 3:139. You were not made for their approval. You were made for Allah's pleasure. What you walked away from might cost you money, comfort, even connection. But what you're reclaiming is you. If it costs you your identity, it's not from Allah. Drop, I'm reclaiming me, if you've walked away from something that made you forget who you are.